Hello and welcome to Paper Plays Julie K.
Welcome everyone, and thank you so much for stopping by to check out my latest video. And today I am here with some thrifted finds, and the first couple of things are from my mom's neighbor Joanne. And the first thing that she gifted me, this was a closet clean out, was a huge bag of some beautiful buttons. Some of them are hers, some of them are her mom's, and then I believe she even said some of them were her grandma's that came off of clothes, those kind of things. And so I just wanted to share that fun little bag that Joanne gifted me. Oftentimes, if you guys watch many of my videos, you know that my mom and Joanne also thrift, and they sometimes thrift items for me. So I am always grateful with anything that Joanne wants to share with me. And I will definitely use some of these buttons in future projects. And then these are the next things that Joanne thrifted for me. They were actually in a book, but I've already gutted it and taken it apart. And it was very well constructed and put together. I had a hard time taking them out. But these are fabric samples, and I believe she said that she paid a couple of dollars for them, $2 to $3 for the sample book. And there was, you know, some smaller samples. And I did go ahead and I did try to take off the paper backing, and luckily it comes off perfectly. I'm not going to have to soak any of these. So I do love that about these fabric samples. But there were quite a few. I'm not going to go through everything, but I have to show you some of them. And I tried to put a couple of those towards the top. So there was these smaller ones like this. There was a lot of whites and creams and off-whites. But most of these, I would assume that they maybe were for like draperies. Is kind of what I'm suspecting for these fabric samples. They look like stuff that you would see on curtains. But look at that material on some of these. I mean, isn't that gorgeous? So I am excited to use some of these, especially some of these, you know, more sheer ones. These ones I thought were really pretty also. They're like almost like a velvety type material. You know, there was some gold in here. You know, just lots of really pretty sheer fabric. So what's nice about these, of course, is they're just samples and they're not like a huge like curtain or something that, you know, I just have little pieces to work with. So again, I'm always grateful when Joanne wants to share things with me and she finds things for me. And then I also want to let you guys know that I just found out that Joanne, she's off visiting her son right now in another state. And of course she went thrifting, and I guess she found me another wedding dress. But I guess Joanne found me another bridal dress. And so hopefully the next time I have a thrifted finds type video, hopefully I'll be able to share that with you guys. I don't have it right now. But I am looking forward to seeing it. And now for the rest of the video, it's all items that I purchased or I found while I was thrifting. I don't have a ton of things to share with you, but just enough to do a video. So the first couple of finds from my local thrift store, I did find two little punches, and I don't have these ones already in my stash. And I did ask when I was at the thrift store if I could try them out on like some scrap paper that they had. Like I just asked them to dig stuff out of the garbage just so I could try them and make sure they worked. And they did. They're a rectangle and a square. And so I did purchase them. They were each $1.50. At some point, someone else had purchased them at the Goodwill for $2.99. But they marked them down to $1.50. So I thought that was a good find. Sometimes when I do go visit my mom and I bring craft supplies, sometimes I don't want to bring my whole die cutting machine with me. So if I have a few punches of some basic shapes, I like that. And like I said, I didn't have either one of these in my stash already. I'm trying to think of what I want to share with you next. I'll maybe share this little random pile. This is some fun little lace that I found again at my local thrift store. It was $1. Just some pretty little lace. And my mom did find this one for me. She found me some tart tins. And these are a little bit bigger than the normal tart tins that I found. She did pay $1, and it looks like there's 4 of them in here, so they were $1 each. But what was interesting is it looks like these were maybe part of a metal tart tin kit that maybe someone did some embroidery work on. I don't see the patterns, but they do have like the little circles that go in there. So that's what actually is going to be kind of nice for like if I want to add, you know, something inside of here that's circular shape, that I already have the little cardboard pieces. Otherwise, I'll alter these pieces. But this one is a little bit bigger round diameter than most of the like normal size tart tins. So I do like that about these. So my mom did thrift those ones for $1. I kind of forgot about them until I'm looking at this pile. And then let's see, this item right here actually came from a bigger grab bag that I bought at the thrift store. And it had some of the crochet thread that went along with this. And it also had a doily pattern book of how this was made. There was maybe like 10, 20 different patterns in there, and it was vintage and it was old. And I bought the whole grab bag for $3. I did opt to give the pattern book and the leftover thread that was in there to my mom because she's going to try out some of the doilies in that pattern book for me. But this was one of the ones, this was also in there. So someone was obviously working on it. They never finished it. It's missing connector pieces. And then also, I don't know if it's going to show up on camera, maybe over here. It looks like they probably bought 2 different lots of thread. And maybe as they were putting it together, they realized that the different lots of threads were slightly different colored. Like I said, I don't know if that'll show up on camera, but they are 2 different kind of vintage colors. And I know my mom said that she loves working with this color of thread. It just, you can't buy that color anymore because she said she actually looked it up. So she's not able to find this particular color anymore. But like I said, I was happy to get this whole thing just for $3 because I love doilies this size. And so I will take it apart. And it was just an extra bonus that there was the thread and the pattern book in there that my mom was able to keep. And I don't have those to show with you because I've already gifted them to her. Because I saw her right after I thrifted them. And so I just gave them to her then. Also, I did find this material. It's 2 2/3 yard for $6. And this was at a thrift store that's close to my mom's house. And this is the nicer quality lace. Usually this thrift store marks up their material way more than what I want to pay for it. But for 2 yards, and it was $6, I thought $3 a yard was not bad for higher quality lace. So I did go ahead and pick this up. And it looks like it's pretty good quality. I didn't see anything wrong with it because I did open it up when I got it just to see if there was any stains on it because I wasn't sure. My local thrift store, when I buy material, they usually tell you, they'll say good quality or they say stains on it just so then you know, which is always nice. But this thrift store does not do that. And then a few more finds. Not kind of a combination of my local thrift store and the one by my mom's house. So I did pick this up. I think this one was my local thrift store. It was $1. Just a nice little tin for organizing. Or I could, sometimes I re-spray paint things like this and then I gift people things in them. It might have been a planter at one point, just looking at the bottom of it. It looks like there's some water stains in it. So that's what I'm thinking, is that it was a planter or it had some flowers in it. But I did like that for $1. My local thrift store for 30 cents, I love it when I find handmade crochet trim. And that one was only 30 cents. Can you guys believe it? Great find. I do love that for 30 cents. This one was 50 cents. I think this one came from my mom's thrift store. Just some little flowers. And I think these are like $1 maybe at Walmart or a little bit more than that now. Every once in a while I do pick up rickrack or the vintage seam binding if I find them in interesting colors. I have quite a bit in my stash. But this one was kind of that pink color. It's kind of a vintage pink color for 50 cents. And then for 30 cents I found this green color. See, I also picked up this bag of, there's some round wood pieces in here and then there's also some knobs in here. And these little round pieces right here, they're flat on one side, and I think they also use these for like knobs on dressers and stuff, but I like to use these on, I make little risers. I paint like pieces of wood that I find at the thrift store, and I paint them, and then I put these on for feet, and I paint them black, and my husband uses them in his display for, he collects petrified wood and rocks. And sometimes he likes to put things on top of risers. And so I do make him risers just because I'm able to thrift the items, and it's cheaper than buying a $20 riser. It's cheaper for me to make some for him. And so whenever I can find these little rounds for not very much, I do buy them at the thrift store. And then there's a couple other little knobs, and I'm going to hold on to these 1, 2, 3 because there's 5 of them. I do have some furniture in my craft room that I need to repurpose and kind of redo in more my style, and I might use these on something, I'm not sure. So otherwise they also work perfectly. You can put them on, you can still paint them and decorate them, but they're cute on top of boxes and tins and stuff, so I will keep those. And this was $1. I'm sure it probably wasn't much more than that. Originally, I think this is probably something from Walmart, if I recognize the packaging. But I've been looking for one of these feather boas for Christmas stuff, and it always seems like when I go at Christmas time to try and find one, I can't find it. But I was able to thrift it, and so I'm going to hold on to it for Christmas crafts. I did find this organdy pink for 50 cents, and it's a full roll. I'm not quite sure. It says it's 5 yards, so I think that's a pretty good deal. Some more little wood pieces. These ones were $1, and they're little stars. Some little hearts for 30 cents. And these are fun to decorate up and use on different craft projects. You can add them to clothespins, using them kind of as, sometimes I use them as decorative elements when I package things for people. So I just pick that kind of stuff up when I can find them for a good deal. This one again was at my mom's, one of the thrift stores close to my mom's house. And these were 99 cents, so $1. And they look like they were probably some sort of like snap-on collar. I'm thinking that, because there are snaps on the side, so I'm thinking it probably snapped onto some sort of shirt. But I'll easily be able to, they're just sewed on, so I can take those off easily. And then I will have 4 different little appliques to use. So they were, you know, basically $1/4 each for each little applique. And so I didn't think that was too bad. $1. Of course, it would have been nicer to have had a few more in there, but $1 isn't bad. And then also at my mom's thrift store, I found this set of rubber stamps for 99 cents. And I do apologize for the glare, but it is a Teresa Collins one. It's a marriage one, but this one says just married. This one right here says, more than there are stars in the sky and fish in the sea, I love you. And this one says, forever, for always love. And so I did like this sentiment, that one, and I loved the frame. So those 3 stamps I will definitely use, and most likely I will use this one also. So it was just kind of these 2 that, you know, maybe I'll use, maybe I won't. But for the most part, I'll use most of them on there for 99 cents. I thought that was a great deal. And then my last find was this little book. It's $1. And it's like kind of a ledger book. And I do love the vintage style ledger pieces. I back a lot of my junk journal elements with paper like this whenever I can find it. Of course, it would have been a lot cooler if there actually would have been stuff written in it. But there wasn't. But again, I thought for $1, it's nice paper, and it's perfect for backing some of my junk journal cards. So I will gut this one and use the paper for that. And then if I want down the road, I can also use the cover to repurpose to make another little journal or something out of it. So again, I just wanted to thank everybody so much for watching today, and hopefully I'll be back again, hopefully maybe this month yet. Hopefully I will have that wedding dress to share with you guys from Joann, and of course if I end up finding any more thrifted finds between now, and then I'll definitely share them in that video, because sometimes I do go to the thrift store and I don't find anything. A lot of times I will stop by one of the thrift stores on my way to town for groceries, and there are many times when I walk away with absolutely 0 items. So I don't find stuff every single time that I go. Thank you again, everybody, so much for watching today's thrift store finds. And until next time, I hope you guys all have a wonderful day and happy crafting.